as I explained, as Kalyana we are very blessed. Your Kalyana has a lot of great attribute, great virtue, great blessings, and Dhamma understanding which is priceless. And is also the first step to progress along the path of Dhamma. As per the Avijja Sutta, there are 10 steps. First step is to have Dhamma friends. So as Kalyana, you should have Dhamma friends. That is the first step. Then you have opportunity to listen to the Dhamma. That is the second step, and this one is most important. When you listen to the Dhamma, you can develop a lot of wholesomeness. First, listening to the Dhamma is one of the meritorious actions. Then you straighten your view. It is also a meritorious action. Then when you listen to the Dhamma, you can develop understanding and wisdom, especially the first turning wisdom, Suttamaya Panya. Wisdom born of listening to the Sutta or discourse of the Buddha or the teaching of the Buddha. Then when you reflect and contemplate and inquire deep into what you have heard, you stabilize your understanding. Then you can assimilate them and allow it to stabilize in your heart. That is the second turning wisdom. So from Suttamaya Panya, it leads to Chintamaya Panya. Wisdom born of the second turning. Reflection, contemplation, and inquiry into the Dhamma as proclaimed by the Buddha. Then you straighten your view. You develop this initial wisdom, yoniso manasikara. And that is the fourth step. But before that, when you investigate into the Dhamma, after you listen, you inquire, reflect, and contemplate, what happens is, you develop this strong faith in the Buddha. Because whatever you investigate into, all the teaching, the essential Dhamma, even Dhammapada verse 21, 22, 23, verse 1 and 2, and all the important essential Dhamma or teaching, you realize they stand up to investigation. And when they stand up to investigation, you have faith. You become very convinced that this is the truth. That's why your faith in the Buddha and his teaching become unshakable. So that is the third step. Faith in the triple gem. Yeah. Then once you develop the fourth step, you are home. Because when you have the fourth step, the initial wisdom, your mind does not stir and react like before. This mind will have the stability of the initial wisdom that will allow it to be at peace with most situations in life. Whomever they meet, whatever situation that arises, they are always at peace. Their mind will not stir. Their mind will not react to sense experience like before. So they are more equanimous, more peaceful, more aware. They can see things as they are. They can accept the reality of the moment. They can be at peace with most things. That's how your mindfulness come about. You have more and more inner peace, leading to more and more moments of inner awareness, silence. Then the space between thought become more frequent. Then you realize your mind is most of the time just aware. Without thought, there is space. It's just aware. You are not lost in thought. You are constantly aware within the moment. That's why the daily mindfulness will take off, leading to your ability to have the sati sampajana, which is the fifth step. The moment you hit these two, you are home. When your daily mindfulness becomes very stable, sati sampajana, you will automatically have sense restraint, because you can be very mindful, very sensitive. Then since you already understand what constitutes evil, the moment you see it arising, you know you can arise or fall right effort. to prevent it from arising, or to abandon whatever that has arisen. And because of the initial wisdom, you can actually prevent it from arising straight away. You don't have to do the first right effort anymore, because the first right effort already over, you already done it. Otherwise you cannot have that initial wisdom. Then after that you will cultivate the third and fourth right effort, which is whatever wholesome thought, wholesome action and wholesome speech that are still not in you. Then the final right effort is to refine upon them and perfect them. So all this you can do. When you do this means you have sense restraint. All these evil root, mental hindrance, they cannot arise, they cannot disturb you anymore, they cannot haunt you anymore. So this number 6 step become automatic. Once you have automatic sense restraint, then you are incapable of negativity. Then the 3 way of right conduct, right speech, right action and right thought is also automatic. That's why the 7th step will come. Then you realize you are different now. And when you hit the 7th step, you are at least sakadagami. Yeah. In fact, the initial wisdom, when it come out, stabilize, then your daily mindfulness come out. You can easily realize sotapanna during that time. Yeah. And when you finish step 6 and 7, you would have realized at least sakadagami, 2nd stage of sainthood. That's why after that only Avijja Sutta mentioned the 8th step, cultivation of the 4 foundation of mindfulness. Before that, you cultivate 4 foundation of mindfulness, it's not going to help you. You are wasting your time because you cannot progress. Because without the initial wisdom, the daily mindfulness, you cannot do the real Satipatthana Sutta. That's why in the Satipatthana Sutta, it always starts with this sentence. After overcoming covetousness and grief, only you cultivate mindfulness of kaya, mindfulness of feeling, mindfulness of citta, and mindfulness of dhamma. Then the moment you go into the 4 foundation of mindfulness, because you already have the initial wisdom together with the stability of daily mindfulness, sati sampajana, you realize you breeze through the 4 foundation of mindfulness. The moment you do that, in fact, a lot of the training within the 4 foundation of mindfulness, you will have done it. The first kaya nupassana, you realize that anapanasati, to build up the sati or mindfulness of the in and out breath, you already have it. Otherwise, you cannot have the daily mindfulness. Then the 4 posture. Then mindfulness of every action, every movement, everything that you do within the present moment. The 3rd step. Also, you must have done it. Otherwise, you cannot have that stability of daily mindfulness. Then to contemplate into the 4 elements, the 32 part, is very simple. Through the contemplation on the essential dhamma, the 5 daily contemplation, everything, it will cover these 4 elements and 32 parts. Then even the 9 stages of cemetery, contemplation, automatic, very easy. When the form is devoid of consciousness, it goes the ways of nature. Then all your lust, all your craving for form, beautiful form, luring form, automatically cease to be. Because this is illusion. This is delusion. This is not what you think. So all this self-delusion, including avijja, ignorance, all this starts to break down. Then you will realize that awakening, that wisdom, which will enable your mind to liberate and free. Then it can see clearly. That's why form delusion, mind delusion, the conditioned world of consciousness, they fail to have power over you. So all this understanding will just arise. Then after that, you will have the ability to understand the final summary of the First Noble Truth. The Buddha summarized it in short. It is this five aggregate of form and mind. When you, through delusion, self-delusion, grasp and cling onto that, it arises suffering. So the five aggregates of grasping is dukkha. So, upadana khandha, dukkha. And all this will become very clear. Then after that, when you move into mindfulness of feeling in feeling, very easy to do. Exactly as per the Sutta. You will come to know how the unarising, this mental hindrance of like and dislike, sensual desire, you will come to be. Because whenever your feeling moves, if you are aware, you can be with that moment and aware that this feeling, initially is a pure feeling, has transformed into pleasant and unpleasant feeling. What is pleasant feeling? What is unpleasant feeling? Pleasant feeling is the feeling that you like. These are your sensual desire. Unpleasant feeling are the feeling that you don't like. These are your ill will. These are the first two mental hindrances. That's why you will understand clearly the Dhamma. The Buddha says, when there is this feeling, you must be aware. That feeling has become pleasant or unpleasant. You also have to be aware. Then when you are aware, you will understand how this unerased mental hindrance come to be. And since they are mental hindrance, they will hinder your mind from entering the meditative state of inner peace and inner awareness. Then you don't need to react and stir your mind like before. That's how you will come to understand very clearly through mindfulness of feeling. Then after that, you move on to the third, citta nupassana, the content of consciousness. It's the same. You can be mindful of the content of consciousness, the subtle greed, the subtle anger, emotion, fear, worry, anxiety, doubt, everything. Behind the thought, the content of consciousness that you input through your views, opinion, and conditioning, and your delusion. You can see them all. That's why the Buddha says, when there is greed, you are aware. When there is anger, fear, worry, anxiety, sorrow, lamentation, you are aware. When the mind is restless, you are aware. When the mind is spacious, calm, peaceful, boundless, you are aware. So all these are your various mind states. When you start to do this, you prepare yourself to develop the awakening, the third turning wisdom. That's why in the fourth foundation, Dhammanupassana, is all about awakening. Mindfulness of the five mental hindrances lead to wisdom, awakening. Then after that, mindfulness of the five aggregates of form and mind, make it clearer. It will lead to awakening. Then the third category of practice of cultivation under Dhammanupassana is very important. Mindfulness of the six external sense bases and six external sense bases. This one is what daily mindfulness is all about. You will keep on seeing all this very clearly. Then you can trace the origination factor. Before there is anger, there was no anger. How did anger arise? Before fear arise, there was no fear. How did fear arise? How did lust, craving, covetousness, possessiveness, how do they arise? The evils. So when you trace the origination factor, it's always from one of the senses. Sense door consciousness that arise, then through wrong view, you input the content. Then the mind stir and create the mental hindrance. Then you come to know how the unerased mental hindrance come to be. Where you see it coming. Then when you straighten your view and silence your mind and don't do anything, then you realize this mental hindrance that has arisen, they will cease to be on their own. That's how, as per the Sutta, I say, you will come to understand how the arisen mental hindrance cease to be. Through what? Through the third way. the meditative way, just relax, silent, aware, you assist. That is the wisdom. Yeah. Then you're supposed to trace the origination factor. Now you trace through your wrong view, through your senses. Then retrospectively reverse it through right view. Means by straightening your views. After you straighten your view, you realize the next time you see the same sense experience, you no longer react like before. You no longer stir like before. Then you realize the mental hindrance cannot arise anymore. That's how in the Sutta I say you will finally come to understand how, not in the future, all these 5 mental hindrances, they cannot arise anymore. That's how you become awakened. Then after that, you will develop the next category of mindfulness. You will be mindful of the 7 factors of enlightenment. Because after you do the 4 foundations of mindfulness, the 9th step is 7 factor of enlightenment. Means you know you are on the right path. Otherwise this factor of enlightenment will not arise. These 7 factors of enlightenment, sati, dhamma vichaya, then your virya, piti, then your pasati, leading to samadhi, and finally upekkha, equanimity. You will see them all. You are aware of them. Then you know you are on the right path. You know you are on the way to awakening. Means the third turning wisdom keep on arising. The understanding keep on arising. That's how you become enlightened. So this is what the 4 foundations of mindfulness is all about. Then the last category is after that, when you start to see the 7 factor enlightenment keep on arising, then you can go into the mindfulness of the Four Noble Truths. At that time, you do the 3 turning of the Four Noble Truths. Very clear to you. Very fast you awaken. Then you realize the Buddha is so wise. His teaching is so beautiful. Enlightenment in the here and now, before you die, is possible. So you will understand, the form and mind will understand clearly. No more birth. The holy life has been lived. Everything has been understood. So this is how all this can actually bring about great benefit, transformation and awakening.